let me ask you about, speaking about, the government and whatnot. What do you, and I know you spoke a little bit about it when it came to Billy Garland, but what do you think about Napoleon's latest comments saying that the government and the police don't want to solve the 2Pac case, that they never wanted to solve the 2Pac case?
Yeah, I totally agree with him back in the 90s. Totally agree with him back in the 90s. They did not want, you got to remember, back then in the 90s, it wasn't what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. High rollers and ballers. It was like theme parks. Attached to the hotels, you had water slides and carnivals or rides and stuff like that, all attached to the big hotels. They got rid of all that shit, now. But back then, they were trying to make Vegas bring your family, come out and have a good time, bring grandma, bring everybody to Vegas. And so they didn't want to have no big old trial in their mind with the rappers, and they just saw that OJ trial and all that going on in LA. They were like, oh, hell, let's just sweep this shit under the rug and let's move on. I'm trying to tell you, Yasmin don't like me to this day because I, brought Napoleon. I brought Edie and Yak down to the police station, and they were going to maybe or take a little at a photo 6-pack. I'll just put it that way. And she's like, "How are you gonna bring my young son down there without consulting and talking to me? Me and you know each other." And I'm like, well, number one, in my mind back then, now me having a son, 21, 22, 23, I know how slow you motherfuckers are now. I didn't understand that because I was 26, 27 at the time, and I'm like, hey, this a grown man. He the one made the decision to come. Now me being a parent, I understand totally where Yasmin was coming from. But back then I didn't. But I'm saying all that to say, just this one point, that Vegas police, Sergeant Becker or Bitt, who obviously wasn't a good cop like this investigator that's on the case now, because, man, I'm telling y'all, he done beat up pavement. I know of 6 to 7 people that he's done contacted. And trust me, some things going to be happening real soon. But my point to all of that is, they didn't want to solve it. They picked an argument with Edie and Gaddafi and start talking to them about why y'all didn't talk to us or tell us that night. Why y'all want to cooperate? Why y'all want to cooperate now? Why y'all want to do this? And wouldn't even show them the 6-pack, the photo array of the picture people in there, which was their reasoning allegedly for coming down there to the station. Point is, they did that because they didn't want to solve their case because they were trying to push it under the rug. Now, all this government involved and all of that, I totally don't believe in that. Even like the got doggone generals and majors and lieutenants and all that talking about, and I know U.S. Congress, and I can't wait till they respond to this, how they've been seeing UFO sightings and all of that. You got nut crack pots in every organization. Phil Carson is one. In the FBI, Russell Poole was one. You get over bent on something and you believe something cold-hearted, where you just get obsessed with the case, and you start this obsession, obsessed. Look up that word if you don't know what I mean. And so my point is, I'm not one to believe in all of that government stuff. I believe there's crooked cops, but I believe there's more good cops than crooked. No, not more. 97% good cops, 3% bad cops. Is my belief. I know y'all got different opinions, but think about how many cops you really ran into in your lifetime to even make that. All you people that's typing in there, all cops are dirty and all that, you probably only met 2 or 3 cops in your lifetime, but you want to judge everybody like that. But I'll get back to the subject. So my point is, yeah, the Drapers dropped the ball in the 90s, but, and I don't believe they knew how to work that gang homicide. Vegas was not a popping town in the 90s like it is now. They didn't have all the housing developments and everybody moving out there for cheaper homes and, a better life of living or whatever, or getting away or hiding from gang activity in Los Angeles because you done ratted on somebody. They didn't have all of that then, and so they probably, I don't think they knew how to investigate the murder properly or correctly. But did y'all hear one thing that the cop said? I forgot to harp on this. And Carol said, "Oh, we didn't know, we wasn't planning on doing nothing." I always tell y'all this, and y'all always go and listen to other people. "Oh yeah, 2Pac gonna get violated. 2Pac." I told y'all 6, 7, 8 months ago. They didn't know who the fuck. They knew that it had happened, but they didn't care. It was just like, well, we got some footage of it, but it happened. And they didn't even take a report that night. It wasn't until the shooting happened that they said, oh, this is a result of that. Oh, this is what happened. But anyway, too deep for y'all. The man told y'all didn't catch it. Reggie caught it. But yeah, Mutal, that's their mindset. I gotta remember they were around Black Panthers and Black Panthers strength. And yeah, and so that's what they believe. I just know, Malcolm X thing, that big lawsuit is about to go on where they suing the government for $100 million, for being involved in the murder of Malcolm X. So stuff like that happened, but my point to all of that is, so I know it happens, but it doesn't happen as often as y'all want it to believe. And like the poetic comedian Keefe D said, who in the fuck was 2Pac where the government want to kill him? I told y'all a couple episodes ago. So one goddamn thing I believe that Keefe D stated that he, that wasn't factual, that he didn't know. That opinion that I have to might agree with him. The government wasn't after 2Pac like that. They were after. Y'all say, well, he was, President Quayle mentioned his name and all that. Yeah, mentioned Ice-T's name too. Is he dead? Have they silenced Ice-T? My point is they were really going after Time Warner. Time Warner
they
got...
were just as adamant on Snoop as they were 2Pac. They probably mentioned Snoop more than they mentioned 2Pac.
Exactly. So, and Snoop's still alive. Y'all say he's silent. That's why he's rewriting history. I know. Y'all got an answer for everything, but yeah. So my point is, I understand where Moo is going with it, but I don't agree with him about any conspiracy, government conspiracy. So I'm not one to believe in that yet.